All right, and welcome to a special episode here of the podcast. We are joined in the studio, of course, with the one and only Gatekeeper of my Uncle Glenn's footy tipping competition. I'm sure many of you have been following along. A few weeks ago, we said we had all the permission of the 12 tipsters, and now all there is to do is to open up the wooden safe, the ancient safe,
the crypt,
and pull out my Uncle Glenn's tips so that we can make another copy. Put the tips back in. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, make another copy. We have a photocopier on hand at the back,
Xerox,
and we'll be able to get a fresh copy of my Uncle Glenn's tips. Then we can finally actually continue on with the segment as it was intended. So I just want to introduce the Gatekeeper. Thanks for coming in studio this time.
Pleasure to have the man of your esteem in this building.
It's an absolute pleasure. I mean, this is the moment that every gatekeeper dreams of, really.
Well, I mean, aside from a clean tipping competition, of course. I mean, yeah.
And just general keeping of the gate.
Yep.
But yeah. Well,
but this is the moment of action.
Moment of action. Are you ready? I guess we actually you need confirmation.
I do, Brad.
Of the.
How are we doing that, Brad?
Just I've already sent the text out, but I'll just let everyone know that to.
So we need a thumbs up react from everyone in the group chat.
Need them to do their code.
Okay.
What's in the box?
You'll find it in due time, Ruben.
Should be ready to go, I reckon.
I've got that now.
That's come through on your phone?
It has indeed. All right. Now, before we open this, I must warn you all not to look at anything that's inside, all right? That's just for my eyes and whoever I give permission to, okay?
Do we have permission?
No, you don't have permission.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
I can't even look in the box?
Do not look in the box.
But we put it on your lap. So we put it down here? Yep. Jesus.
This is the real deal.
Whose tips are these?
Just sifting through the tips to find Uncle's. There's a lot of pages in there.
Serious competition.
Oh, yeah, I think Big Z picked the Hawks round 13.
Don't look.
All right, Brad.
Is that?
These are Uncle
envelope?
Glenn's tips.
Wow.
All right? I'm going to give you permission, and only you, to have a look at what's inside.
Okay. Thanks. Glenn's 2022 season footy tips private.
For those just listening, Brad is currently opening Uncle Glenn's tips, closed in a envelope of sorts. Just a normal envelope.
I don't get it.
What's the problem?
It's basically blank.
Oh yeah, it'd be a classic Glen trick. It's in lemon juice. You won't be able to see it unless you hold it over a candle.
An open flame.
We actually have a candle. The ambience.
Invisible ink inside an envelope, inside a crypt.
Jesus.
Can't manufacture that.
How many
level
other people usually put?
That's just Glen. That's not even part of the rules.
I can see it. Yeah, that's coming up. Oh. Wow. I wish you guys could see this.
What do you see?
You guys should get in on this.
Dude, show me.
We're not allowed. We're living through you.
Well, it's all here. It's just it's what can I say?
Do you pick Hawks round 13?
All right, yeah. This is going to be actually. It's got a little note at the top says, "If anyone but the Gatekeeper is reading this, then I'm very disappointed in you, Bradley." That's my Uncle Glenn. Can you go and photocopy these?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Wow.
We've got a rented Xerox on hand.
Don't. That's the only copy.
Nearly lost him again.
It's a secretive, as you could tell by this bad boy. It's an old and ancient secret.
A lot of history.
Yeah, a lot of history in this comp. So, all right, awesome.
Give me the originals. Give me the original. Thank you.
It's the original. Oh, beautiful.
All right, hold on. This is all got to go away immediately.
Dude, look at all the other stuff.
All right. Hawthorn Richmond MCG. Who won that in round 13?
Fuck, I don't even know.
I can't remember.
No, that's round 9, sorry. Yeah, obviously big thanks to all the people who helped us open the safe, like Bigsy and Darcy and everyone else. And obviously big thank you to you, the Gatekeeper. I've definitely learnt my lesson of, always, when you're in a footy tipping competition, no matter what, you always, make sure you hold on to your tips and don't lose, especially if your uncle gives them to you.
Literally for safekeeping.
Yeah, for safekeeping, just taking it a bit more serious. Tips, take it seriously and make sure it's under your watch, and because you never know, it might be the only copy, that kind of thing. So I've definitely learnt a lesson there.
Well, that's good, Bradley. I mean, I believe you have learned that lesson. And perhaps it's the kind of lesson you could take to other aspects of your life as well.
Yep, I think, mostly the tipping thing, I'll make sure, I think that's a good place to finish up. So, thanks for everyone who's, come along on this journey. Now we can finally get on track. I'm excited. Well, I might even do it this episode, get Glenn on, tell him the good news.
Absolutely.
He'll be keen.
Read through his tips.
My work here is done. My work here is done.
Yeah, good boy, good footy energy. Yeah, good boy, good footy energy. Yeah, good boy, good footy energy.
Hello and welcome to Good Footages, the place where you're never too far away from a velodrome.
Teardrop helmet.
That is so good.
Tonight's episode will be based around the concept of the velodrome. So if you could
About time.
somehow relate that back in at some point,
We seem to go around in
We
circles
will-
a fair bit, Bradley, so
it's off to a good start. They don't say that, the velodrome, but...
I think you need to let everyone know, why you're even mentioning the velodrome.
Well, our friend Russ came back from New Zealand and we had a few people hang out and catch up and I don't know, we were just telling different stories
It was about suburb. I think it started with the suburb Burton potentially, and then
Northfield.
Northfield, and someone was like, "Oh, it's like near the velodrome," and then like a separate story about another suburb, and Brad's like, "I'm pretty sure it's near the velodrome."
Yeah, and it was like the third story was like bringing it home with the velodrome. It's like, we've never, everything's near the velodrome.
I imagine when you're at work delivering skip bins, you're like, so how close is that to the velodrome?
yeah.
Like, if I'm leaving the velodrome, which way do I go?
Yeah.
It's a beacon for you.
Yeah. Well, where I do work is actually not far from the velodrome.
Well, like you said, you're never too far.
Yeah, you're never too far. So
Never
down
too
the road. Also near the Woolworths where they teach them how to, be a Woolworths guy, you know, you do your induction there.
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Like head office
Had to go,
for SA.
I had to
Right.
go there once, obviously.
Is it just
Yeah.
like a big fake shopping centre? That would be amazing.
That'd be so good. Like a North Korea style.
That'd be the
shopping
worst one
centre.
to shop at. Like, the service would be horrible.
Oh,
No one knows where anything is. What is it, like your first day? Yes. Yes, this is the training one.
It's a bit sad as well because like you make friends with a guy on the induction. You're not going to the same Woolworths. You never see him again.
Opposites too. I feel like, you know, that guy is so far down south, and it's like, oh, like I'm north or east. Yeah,
I don't live too far from the Velodrome, but I like that concept of a beginners run supermarket. Just not far from there, actually, up at Ingle Farm. There used to be 2 Coles. I have posted about this before. The phenomenon. There in the big shopping centre complex. There's 2 separate Coles. You can stand in the middle. You can see.
That's bizarre.
It's like
dude.
the Simpsons episode. You like look down. There's another Coles.
Yeah.
Like the juice.
Yeah.
Is it the juice taking over? Yeah, the juice bar. It's like about to be what's the is it juice? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
thought you were talking about the squishy when he has that crazy squishy.
Yeah, it's like soon to be a smoke mart, maybe.
Oh, Starbucks. Everything's a Starbucks. Yeah,
everything's
sorry, yeah.
Starbucks. Yeah.
I got the Leftorium.
Yep. So that's kind of what it felt like with the Coles, but they were 2 separately run because one of them it used to be like a buy-low, but they got bought out
Yeah,
by
right.
Coles.
Yeah.
This is before Aldi. I have a sneaky suspicion the phenomenon might be over because surely Aldi's gone. We'll take that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Off your hands. Like,
Yeah, makes sense, mate.
And like, imagine being the inferior Coles. Like, imagine being the one that less
Yeah.
people shop there. Like, one had to be better.
There would 100% be beef between the 2
Oh,
stores.
hard.
Like the duty managers from each store would
Yep.
be like, "Oh fucking hell, they haven't even got their signs out yet. It's fucking 6:05. Are you serious?"
letting the team down.
Yeah, wheels off down there.
Well, one of them was the trainee one, so they had all the trainees basically running that, or doing that one, and then the other one was a bit more like you look up the hill.
Yeah.
Tell you what, son.
Yeah.
You spend 3 weeks in here, you could be up here with the big boys.
Yep. Well, my cousin Connor, who I work at the truck driving with Supreme Skips,
Love that guy.
Your cousin Connor.
my cousin Connor, he used to run the no, not run it. He was like one of the. He used to work at the Coles. Had the good one, I think.
He ran it.
We should get him on the phone and be like,
Did he run the?
should.
Sorry, did he work at the trainee one or the real one?
I'm pretty sure. Well, we can ask him right
Yeah,
now because
let's
I need,
find out.
I
Let's
need
just
to,
call
I
him
need
now.
to get.
Fuck yeah.
I need to get around.
You love that guy, don't you, Ribs?
I love that guy. Is that what I used to say? I love that guy.
I love that guy. Like a son.
Oh, like
yeah.
a son. He's gonna be like, Brad. That's exactly how we say it. Yeah.
Yo.
Connor, how you going? You're on the podcast.
Oh, that's mad. How are you?
Skits, in fact.
Good. We just wanted to ring up. We're talking about Ingle Farm, how they used to have 2 Coles, and you obviously used to work there. Which one did you work at, the good one or the trainee one?
Wasn't a trainee. The one I used to work at used to be a buy-low.
So it sounds like you're at the trainee.
Sounds like something the
No,
trainee
no.
would say.
No, mate. We were the good one.
Yeah. We had a good view of the post office and the Filipino restaurant. Like, you could see all the people walking out with their bubble teas. Like, you don't get that at a trainee shop down the other way.
Don't, Connor. You do not
That's
get that.
that's a really good call.
Oh, so there was a trainee one, was there? Or
Oh, well, if you're asking if I worked at a training one, the answer's no.
Yeah, okay.
but was the other one like which?
He doesn't know, mate.
Yeah.
No, in all,
what are the
in all
different?
fairness, the other one was a lot better. Mine was pretty shit.
Which one had more cheap milks? Did they have like? Did you have to? If you're looking for a cheap milk,
That's exactly how you
have
grade
to,
it,
Did you have
too.
to go to like? Oh, this one doesn't have anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe the other
Yeah,
one.
the other one definitely
The other
did.
one just got cheap milk.
Ours used to have more blackouts, so you probably get cheaper milk.
That means definitely.
Definitely cheaper milk.
Oh wow.
Is that an Audi now? Just question.
Nah, the bowling alley's the Audi.
Oh, the bowling alley. Brad, I reckon you might have had a birthday party.
party?
Yeah. I've got memories of your old man throwing down some real heat because they used to have the Speedo on it as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean by
Go
that?
dig up your old signed bowling pin, Braddles.
Signed bowling pin. Who?
Snake, you
Yeah,
know.
whenever you had a
for your
birthday, he used to give you the
birthday
bowling pin.
There you
That's
go.
true. I'll have to dig for that.
Sorry, Motes, are we talking about like a bowling lane that has sort of, like a
Speedo gun technology.
Yeah.
like at the airport but maybe faster than that? Is that what we're talking? It's
Or like,
Yeah.
like a cop, like getting you with the
well,
gun.
how's it going
Yeah,
faster?
the radar.
Oh, no.
we're
So,
finding out
sorry. You're thinking about a travelator.
Yeah.
I'm saying there was a speed gun.
Pardon
And
me.
I remember
On
being
the-
blown away by
This
that when I was
is
like
not
9 years
part of
old.
the podcast.
Don't know, what is a travelator?
It's like one of those moving walkways.
Yeah, I thought that's what
So
the
you thought
bowling
they
thing
had-
was made out of.
That's in pod
make-
now. That's in pod.
Yeah.
You put the bowling ball on the thing and it takes it all the way to the. It's all about positioning.
The release is integral.
Connor, we still got you?
Good, mate.
Love you, Connor.
Oh, thank you.
Connor, yeah, obviously you grew up near the Velodrome, didn't you? Like, sort of not too far. Or we all did, really.
Semi.
Because we're talking about the Velodrome in this podcast. Do you have any memories of the Velodrome?
Oh, I remember driving past one day with you and your dad said it was a big monster buried in the ground, and I half believed him for a while.
That sounds about
sounds-
right.
Well, you
That's
could
very
never
on
get
brand.
near it. Like, there was no roads to get there. Like, why can't we go there?
People don't understand. People
true.
don't. This thing is in like a paddock, and like you can only see it.
That is so on brand for Mark Hollis as well. And the fact that he would have forgotten that he said that, but it's made a lasting impression on Connor, who has not forgotten it. The
I
last.
still won't go near the place.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm actually almost crying at that. That is so funny.
All right, Connor, thanks for that, mate. Thanks for picking up.
Cheers, Condor.
No worries, boys.
Love you,
later.
Connor. Like a
Love you
son.
too, boys.
So, yeah.
Like a son.
Have a good
Connor.
night, huh?
You too, Connor. It's my son.
Awesome.
Fuck, that was funny. I've never thought about that. Like how it's just there in the paddock, and like you can't access it. You know,
Yeah.
it's very Area 51 vibes.
Yep. And it's so driving all around that area. It sticks out because it's like a big hill that looks down on it. It's just a big dome of white dome. It's like it looks kind of like the Opera House, except not. You know what it's? Yeah. It's as big as the Opera House.
Man.
I used to think that the greenhouse. This is not pod, by the way. I just think the greenhouse at the Botanic Gardens was a velodrome.
Yeah, well, it's got the same vibe. It's like same sort of cut, obviously same color.
That should be pod, man.
Dude, all of this is pod. All of this
But
is pod.
saying that, we're gonna get moved. Let's get on some footy talk.
Let's do it.
Let's get into the footy.
Welcome to Coffee Talk.
All right, so kick it off. First thing on the run sheet says people saying that Truck Rutten had his sleeves rolled up when he was wearing his hoodie. He was wearing a hoodie on the boundary,
That's not loud.
and one person was saying it. And
That is a real like amateur coach thing to do. Like I could picture the coach of Teacher Gully here in Adelaide doing that, mate, because it's red and black.
That's about to say.
yep,
It's a real like I am stressed. I'm not actually classically trained in this, and my response is to do my sleeves up in my hoodie rather than
Well,
take it off.
It's
out.
the last option, really. Is that brink point of
Absolutely.
no return?
When he starts rocking up to work with them already rolled up, that's when
Yeah.
you know it's over.
Well, I had a feeling in the air that Dons would maybe get up that game. I think a few people did as well. Just-
Absolutely. I'm surprised
just
I haven't
feel
won
it.
10 before this.
Saints in Essendon, I'll put them in the same category as the team that I love, North Melbourne, in that, and potentially the Crows a few years ago. They're good at losing the unlosable. Like going into that game, you know, there was a groundswell of, you know, we want Essendon to win. St Kilda have been playing much better this year, but I mean, they're one of those teams that if you supported St Kilda, you'd be very frustrated, I think.
Absolutely.
Well, that's just a classic game.
It is.
Of that's bread and butter.
Yep.
You're not going to win that.
Nah.
It's Marvel Dome. Even though it's almost like a Port Crows, no matter where you are on the ladder. Not that there's a rivalry. It's just like they're just
Doesn't
the two
matter.
teams that they could just you'd chuck North in.
Well, it's Carlton's fault. You know, if Dons beat Carlton the week before, there's no way they're beating St Kilda
That's
the week
true.
after. It's because they lost in a game they probably should have won the week before that
Well, they did the Danny Frawley stuff at the start, which I wonder if that just kind of sucked the vibe out of the Saints a little bit because
Yeah.
it's quite it's more of a serious
Absolutely.
tone
Absolutely.
thing, and it's like
It's a very emotional,
Yeah.
emotional thing to do before a game.
interesting.
Just for the people watching the YouTube, I just hope that no one's been worried about the small fire that's been happening behind Moats and Rubes there.
That's fine. I just chucked a cigarette down there earlier, so that'll be fine.
That was the 7 sticks of incense I had going for the ambiance for the Gatekeeper, but I think I'm going to move that because it's worrying me. It's worrying.
I like it. I also think 7 Sticks of Incense is a great name for maybe my first like journal of, poems and other bits and pieces that are
Musings
creative things. Yeah,
and other off-colour thoughts.
yeah, exactly.
So the Peter Wright thing was let's just keep doing him.
I like that.
The Peter Wright thing was he uploaded a photo at Hector's Deli, which I did a post about before. Someone
I've heard rumours of a commercial arrangement between you and Hector's Deli, but we
Well,
won't delve into that now.
there almost should be really, but it's just him enjoying the chicken sandwich. I did a status saying like maybe he like after a win, because it was after a win. Maybe that's his routine. He rewards himself with the chicken sandwich. But if they lose, he doesn't give it to himself.
Absolutely, gets pastrami.
And maybe his girlfriend's like lets him know don't serve him. It's just to wear like a disguise. So like if he wants it off on a week of a loss, he's like has to get someone to order it for him. Like,
What do you think he does in the bye week?
corner.
When there's no game.
Ooh, he can get there, but he can't get a chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
he has to
he
get
gets something else.
different sandwich. But so then it builds, right? And so Essendon kind of with momentum, they keep winning. Like every week after he goes there, it's in like a crowd keeps bigger and bigger each week. Like they got just waddle. It starts with them just waddling in. Just a few people were like, oh, what's that? Say it's right. He's eating his chicken sandwich, and then it builds and builds till like the finals. Then like after the grand final, they've just won. When that chicken sandwich after the grand final, there's like
bite.
tens of thousands of people just swarmed watching him. And that first bite, everyone's like,
Yeah, I feel like that bite would be so much bigger than the actual parade.
Wow.
The acoustics of the crunch.
And then he takes the sandwich away from his hands and notices that there was never a crowd or a sandwich in his hand at all. And in fact, they were eliminated in the first week of the finals. And that spurs him to win the next year.
Real Shutter Island style.
And then Hector's Deli shared the post, and they were like, we'll give free, you get a free chicken sandwich after every win to Peter Wright. I like to think I could maybe go in there and claim free chicken sandwich.
So I'm thinking that what Hector Deli needed to do, what they needed to do was say everyone, like if Essendon win, everyone gets a free chicken sandwich.
And then you put the life savings on the opposite result.
Yeah.
Because there's far too much attachment to that now.
wow.
Feeding the people of Richmond. No, thank you. Is it in Richmond?
Oh, what's that? Maybe. No, it is in that kind of place.
down Bridge Road then.
What's that thing where he's like, free hot dogs, no sauce, can't do it.
Can't do drink. No drinks.
No drinks.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Free hot dogs for life! No drinks. No drinks. Can't do it. I can't do it.
It'd be like Peter Wright, free chicken sandwich for life. It'd be like, no drinks. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, but no mayo.
It is incensing in here right now. But yeah, moving on. Just on that Thursday night Carlton Richmond, there was obviously that score review. Which did you see where like Broad touched it?
yeah.
Or like it was. There's been a couple of them lately where it's pretty blurry. They're zoomed in and they're like, yeah, he touched it.
It didn't.
Like,
I know.
Imagine that we just had a lawyer friend on, or the Gatekeeper, who's a study of law. Imagine being in a law place and using that as your evidence. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's full on.
You got anything to say about this?
I just think it's deplorable the quality of camera that we have, given that the amount of money that's spent on the broadcast rights. I don't know if it's the responsibility of the AFL or the host broadcaster, but the stuff in between the goals is horrible. I think that's definitely the AFL or the ground's responsibility. But the fact that we can't get more frames, a better frame rate on these cameras, when they spend over $1 billion on the rights. You should be able to see a fly land on the ball while it's spinning.
You should.
Is that possible, Clarky?
It's shutter speed, and yeah.
Is it really? Is that even possible?
Shutter
Is it
speed and frame rate.
Absolutely.
Think about the slow motion that they already use. Think about how crispy that is and how sort of detailed you can get. When they go to break from the quarter and they've got that montage of everything happening in slow motion. But super crispy.
Do they have that like set up for the right length distance away? Whereas when the ball's going all over the place, you've got to try and keep.
Moment. That's more difficult than that.
It also comes back to the field umpire. We've got 3 field umpires. Like there should be one that can see if it's touched or not.
At least one.
Yeah. Well, usually it's all right, but there's just been a couple lately where they're just like, maybe I'm going for the other team at the time, but it's just like, you kind of just are you guessing is there like you kind of just going it looks like he's little pinking it and then
But
overturning
Brad,
it.
shouldn't it be that way? Like, isn't it sort of like the toothpaste is out of the tube now? We've started using video technologies to adjudicate the game. I think once you do that, you've lost something. There's something about the subjectivity of the umpires is really beautiful. I know they did a lot of that in like soccer like 5 years ago. They really VAR and they put a lot of cameras in, and it's just like it's soulless.
There's also like I've seen a lot of goal umpires now. It's not even touched. Like they don't even know which like sticks it's gone through.
Yeah.
Like that to me is inexcusable.
Absolutely.
Like you've literally got one job.
Yep.
That's very funny because it's like, were you not knowing the whole time?
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but I think it's a reflection of the anxiety that they must feel now. That poor goal umpire that made that mistake where Tom Hawkins hit the post in that grand final. The direct reason why they brought in that technology, like that has just you would never see someone even be nervous about a ball going through without being touched before that.
Yep. I actually don't mind the technology. It's just there's just been a couple that have been like full on that they're calling it.
I just wanted to say one thing, which is, I feel like, footy in the 90s is the best example. Like the umpires, the goal umpires, especially, they were men. All right? They were men. I'm seeing a lot of boys out there these days. All right? And that's why mistakes are happening.
A lot of full clean shavers.
Exactly. A lot of clean shavers,
It's because they need to be like world-class runners now. You look at a rugby league game.
I was talking purely goal umpire. Just then.
goal umpire.
But sorry, naturally, I feel like the field umpires.
Were goal umpires ever men?
Yeah,
I think
Are you
they
kidding
were
me?
like in
They were men.
the like the 70s, 80s footage. They're like legitimately old men.
See those white cloaks?
old men.
Man,
Yeah,
everyone's got a
yeah.
moustache.
Oh, I thought
Every
you
single one of them.
meant like a manly beast man like Mark
They
Rashudo.
went-
No, they're just men.
Yeah, old.
They went through this thing where like it had to be all choreographed, and when the ball's at this point, you had to be standing with your wide legs and looking
Yeah,
up and all
I
that
don't mind
crap.
that.
Like just get to the spot where you can see the ball go through, and don't worry about like your choreographed bloody
Theatrics,
wag.
mate.
Yeah, the theatrics. I can leave the theatrics. I reckon.
BT and JB, they commentated 3 days in a row. So they had Thursday night on Triple M, Friday night on Channel 7, and then Saturday again on Triple M.
That's unbelievable.
And because I haven't really done that in ages, been like that's like an old school combo where you like back, that's your team.
Yeah, on the road.
They haven't done that in ages, and it was really it was kind of old school rhythm. It was good.
What was the Saturday game like? I feel like they would have been like absolutely bouncing off each
it
other.
was good. It's like the third one because the first one, mate.
Cobwebs.
That's why brush off cobwebs. It was still good. Friday, okay, it's Channel 7, so it's not as Joe. Then they were ready. They were primed for that Saturday. They're on fire. They're in sync, and they're just like Peter Adams does a little punch, and then they're just like he's not. He went on the bench. Like no one's coming off for him. It was like, but yeah, there was some funny stuff because obviously I put TV on mute, pause for a second on the radio app on the AFL app, and it's like you're watching it with that commentary. In fact, I know I've said it 100 times, but you can't do it any other way. Like people are missing out on because it's one thing to have them on Triple M, but I need the visual to really actually watch the footy to enjoy it. So that audio with the visual, I know it's very not backyard sciencey, but it's like who's going through the effort to do that. I don't know if enough people are, and so they're missing out. I feel like they're missing out on the best. That's the best version. Or one of the best of the game. Maybe people do it with their other radio stations that they like. I'm sure people do it, but yeah.
Takes like the slightest bit of effort, which basically rules out 90% of the population.
Because I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, man, I want other people to join in, so then we can be on the same level, watching the same thing. You know what I mean? You need to do it more, you dickhead. You're at work.
I'm busy.
You're at work. No, you could at least have the radio on the station.
Yeah, man. I could do that, but like. I'm busy.
Thursday nights.
I'm busy.
Yeah. Anyway.
What do you think of that Saturday game, Brad? I noticed Todd Marshall was coming out of full forward instead of Dixon.
He was, mate. He was, because usually you see Port Adelaide, that's your standard Charlie Dixon coming out of the goal square, but they kind of, Dixon was getting on the move a bit, and they had Marshall, because Marshall was the informed guy, because Dixon, bye-bye, you took your time out. Now Marshall was risen to the occasion in armour.
It's a bit like Port have just been like sort of semi-successful for so long. I see it as like a marriage. And things are starting to get a little bit stale. a little bit boring, and it's just time to switch it up in the forward line. We get the young bull up there. He's charging out a good game. I did say in our group chat 2 weeks ago that I thought he was not to AFL standard. You guys were very quick to jump on me, and then he immediately kicked 3 goals.
I gave it a downvote, I think.
You did.
I don't usually do that.
You did. That was a very negative action to come.
You don't normally do that.
I hope you knew I was tongue-in-cheek downvote as well.
I actually took that really harshly.
I was hoping you didn't, but
I looked internally, and I admitted I was wrong. Which is something I do often because I'm often wrong.
Port actually had... Oh, so you go.
No, I was going to say, just for the record, I just want to let everyone know out there that is listening that I've been riding Todd Marshall this entire season. And I'm loving it right now. He's just been the OG whipping boy, the biggest scapegoat. And I feel like he's potentially the most consistent player all season for Port
Scapegoat
Adelaide.
just becomes actual goat.
That's
borderline.
That's right, Motor.
Yeah,
That is right.
That Bryn Tickle
Brintickle.
plays for Port.
Oh, the ruckman?
Yeah, they did his shoulder.
Yeah, I missed that whole thing. I actually went to the game on Saturday, and it reminded me that never go to the football because you'll miss everything.
Because you were talking too much. I
was chatting. I was also on the right corner of the hill. If anyone saw me, I was parlaying. I was killing it.
I have a message from his brother. Well, I imagine it's his brother, Bohan. So you got 2 B names and they're quite obscure, so I'm assuming he's related. Obviously, it's Bohan.
Hey, don't mess with the Bohan.
Bohan Tickle. He's like, just a couple of stats about his brother Bryn, because he knows I'm a Port fan. He's like, just days before the draft, because this was mid-season draft, myself and Bryn were discussing the possibility of him going to Port. Following this conversation, I hopped into my car to the tune of
AC/DC Thunderstruck.
I got the power.
Ooh. No, Never Tear Us Apart on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely some sort of sign.
I mean, should they replace Never Tear Us Apart with I've Got the Power?
Oh my God!
Oh, crap.
Oh, dude!
It would be charging.
This would actually be crazy.
Yeah. Dude, imagine that. Some guy like... Sick. Let's wait for that part.
And then Jared Walsh from Nova. And now welcome to the stage.
Port Adelaide fans,
Get ready for the game. Wait, balls up. Yeah, they're for like first 20 seconds.
all like all in slow motion.
Yeah. And they're like, they're moving. Like in dodgeball.
Yes! Skills in time, can't remember.
Wait, what is that? What they're called?
Are they called skills in time?
No,
Are they?
that's
Skills
Jados.
are kills.
Skills are kills.
Ah,
Cool.
damn.
Yeah.
Who's skills in time?
That's a comedy troupe.
That's fucking Jados.
Yeah, Jada.
Yeah, basically the same thing. Skills in
And
time.
older Sam Campbell.
Sammy Campbell.
All right, let's get back into it.
I'll go.
Definitely.
So Bryn. Oh yeah, and there was another stat. He following the draft, he was given number 27, and he wears number 20. Sorry. Following the draft, he was allocated number 27. On debut, he got 27 fantasy points, and this morning at an Adelaide cafe, we were randomly given table number 27. Just makes you think like he was meant to be. Plus, another little final one is that he was the 13,000th VFL AFL player ever.
Wow.
How does this relate to the Velodrome?
That's all I was thinking.
You
about
remember
the entire
Velodrome,
time.
man? No, but you just said apparently in 1905 at South Melbourne there was a guy called Jack Johnson, and there was another guy called John Jackson, and then they got confused. They thought it was the one guy.
You talking about Peter Pan picked up a pickle peppers?
No, but they got the same name, and they thought they were the same player, so he might be the 13,001th.
And first.
And once.
No. And once.
Velodrome.
180 degrees.
Turn it up, Bradley.
Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, a few buys. We're coming, obviously, finishing off the buy. Actually, we have a we have a Jason Yu buy week.
Wow.
Bootleg to play. Finished his song.
Do we know where he recorded it?
I've got it. I'll have that for you in a minute.
Wow.
Wow.
We just
Teaser.
finished
Anyway,
that,
Snake, keep it going.
but one of the games of the year, Giants versus Bulldogs, just a shootout, good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Love a bit of goals, not much D.
They've got like the best non-manufactured rivalry at the moment, I reckon.
Yeah.
They sort of like Geelong, Hawthorn areas without the success. But yeah, every time they play is always one to watch.
It's a good point, Modes. I feel like ever since obviously that prelim, like they have always had a classic every single year, and I feel like whoever does the fixtures always puts it in like this week actually had a lot of good footy, but like as you said, this was the game,
Yeah, centerpiece game Saturday night. How good.
You didn't know whose it was until I actually didn't watch it at all. We're at a friend's place, both Motes and I saw it was 73 all.
Yeah.
And then the next time I said, "Oh, what's the score?" and someone's like, "Oh, it's like 105 to 74."
Well, Bulldogs just kicked, because it was even at that point. Then Bulldogs kicked like 6 goals in a row. They just didn't stop, and it was like, geez.
It's the worst.
But obviously Toby Green hit like 7, and Cody Waitman, and maybe even also Norton had 5. But Waitman had 5 early, and then did you see what he did? Is like land on his elbow. It was out of its socket, and I saw it, and I was like, whoa. I was like, how is the human body exist?
It'd be about as painful an injury as you could do, I reckon.
Yeah, and he strapped up, came back on. I'm not sure if he
His elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, he strapped. It was like out of its socket or whatever.
Yeah, dislocated.
I did not.
I'm like, he can't. I'm like,
I don't know with a shoulder, like, when you dislocate, it's like, put it back in, bit of tape, whatever. But I thought with an elbow, it's just like, we should probably rest
If
him.
I dislocated my elbow, national TV coverage or not, I'd fucking pull my eyes out.
I mean, he got put back in as he was walking off or whatever. But yeah, obviously
It's always when they're walking
But
off.
I'm not sure if he's gonna have to. If he gets surgery, he have to miss like 12 weeks. But they might. I'm not sure what they're gonna do. But like, it's pretty
Surely going to
strong to come back on. But he obviously started very well.
Put him on
I
ice.
dislocated my shoulder once in a trial game for the club that I play for. We're actually playing against a school team. So it was a 16-year-old kid that came across me as I was trying to spoil. And I sort of whacked it back in. And the physio came up to me and he was like, "Oh, is it back in? Is it back in?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, thank fuck. I didn't want to do that." Which didn't really give me much confidence in him for the rest of the season.
About to say.
Jason Yu. All right.
Oh.
So for those listening, he's I think it was last year's finals last year.
Yeah.
Finals.
Yeah, one of those.
When Bigsy was on.
Yeah, Big Z I was on. He sent us in
It was like a season wrap.
It was.
And I meant rap, WRAP. Like the rap encapsulated everything we'd done that season
yeah,
of
it was
the podcast.
it was a rap, and it was taken from a DJ Jesus beat bootleg. And so
Jesus on the beat.
So he's made us another rap here. So this is his email. Good evening. Here's the bye-week bootleg. The vocals were recorded as promised in the Western Stand at Adelaide Oval.
Oh, yes.
While on a break at work. All above board. He's a nightman there, the
There we go.
security. Brilliant choice, gents. Attached is a photo of the beautiful broadcast side in its midnight glow.
I'm proper excited for this.
To hear Goxie talk about the Brett Quirk intro as I was driving down Grand Junction Road, which of course is right near the Velodrome. You know it. After this week, blew me away. I had recorded the vocals just several hours before some serious connection. Finally, please apologise to DJ Jesus for not using more of the beat he so generously gave me. Maybe I'll have to use it for another piece. Happy to take a request. Here's to part 2 of the AFL season.
Let's do it.
Jason,
Spin it.
you.
We'll collab.
Spin it, DJ.
Downloading of the MP3.
Play it, man.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, that is orchestral.
This is Jason _you back again with the bye-week bootleg. Shout-outs to all the Energies alumni. Thanks, Brad. We're a bunch of unique individuals, giving you the insight into Saturday other rituals. Grassroots to elite, it's spiritual. Footy gods acting in the metaphysical. Bye-week bootleg, feelings, not facts. Less games of football, the ladder's off whack. But that's okay, just like you. We care, I mix business and pleasure like Lockie Jones or Nick Draper's hair. Common medals up forward, key backs for style. David Roden, if you love me, then give me a smile. Putting those pistol fingers my way for a while. Northern stand on the hill underneath the mangroves. Cause Gillen is gone, who's gonna come next? I put my name forward, chief exec with an underscore. I'll tear through the footy media, just like Mason Cox's retinas. This looks like a job for me, Fox Footy. Put me on 360, me, Robbo, and a little controversy. It feels so empty mid my week. There's no fullback standing next to me, no tagger on my heels. I'll take a bounce for free. Submitting my job pitch in MP3, recorded in the AOS and stand level 3. I'd call it AFL-M to inflame my fragility, just like a watch vasectomy. I'd give Tassie 2 teams, Lonnie and Bernie. I'm yearning to say the Gary Ablett Seniors mark should not have been paid. I put state league footy history on the front page. It'll never age, just like the story of who forgot to build the coach's boxes at Docklands and was only noticed 2 weeks before the very first game. Jesus. DJ, that's for you. Feel the flow, feel the flow. 2022 was working out a treat. Got my newborn baby boy Jarrah Will, and the Blues sitting at 9 and 3. The lid is off for some flag mantle blue flaggers. Eddie Betts said to put it back on, knackers.
Just keep a lid on it.
I booked my flights to Melbourne in September, like Shane Biggs. Always remember.
Shout out to my ground of the week, Large Mono NT. Same field dimensions as the MCG.
Swans back in front.
How can you not love football?
That was unbelievable. That was.
Wow.
Jason _UU.
Wow.
He's put more effort into that than me and
Wow.
Rubes have collectively for the whole 2 seasons of this podcast.
Easily.
Wow.
Easily. There's actually no comparison.
We're going to need to drop the Spotify link to that very soon.
The amount of references that he had in there was just like incredible.
He just kept one after the other. All of a sudden, it's Slim Shade without me.
The Fox Footy theme song has been waiting for a bootleg, and that was straight flames.
Wow, I loved how he was like, "I'd give Tasmania 2 teams."
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. That is the kind of thing I love to hear.
Yeah.
Give me one on each coast. That'll solve the problem. Do it.
Cancel next year. It's just 1-on-1. Just 2 Tassie teams fighting for supremacy.
Man.
Yeah, Jason, he set the bar pretty high last year, and he's just
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite literally, the only thing I can say is, Jason, you have just completed me.
No velo.
No mayo.
that was crazy.
It would have been really great if he was like, down by the Velodrome.
Yeah.
Next one.
Connor thought it was by low.
He makes for every episode. He makes a summary.
Dude, that's what we
Dude,
do.
we need to hire someone.
That's what him. Yeah. You said it.
I love how his voice kind of sounds a little bit 360-ish.
Oh
like
yeah, it's got some.
that.
It's got a bit of Aussie undertone.
Yeah. All right, so we've actually got a special guest coming on to talk about. He's the Fox Footy camera guy,
Foxy.
Oh, finally.
Jesse. We talked about it a few over the journey of getting him on, because we every now and then we sort of talk about not conspiracies, but
I'd say
conspiracies.
yeah,
Conspiracies.
secrets of the trade, of what goes behind the scenes in putting together the coverage of the AFL. And so we've got a few things we want to ask him to clarify, and also want to talk about actually we'll play some audio as well before we talk to him, just so everyone has a bit of context of when I say the van or the truck out the back.
So this is BT on Dylan Friends, is it?
Yep. It's a couple minutes here, but
Yeah. In 30 years' time, when they show Richmond winning that premiership, it'll be the final siren and just that sentence that goes with Richmond winning. And I thought, shit, I don't know how to describe Richmond's 30 years
big
of
job.
bloody being in the doldrums. So I quickly hit the button down to the truck, the broadcast truck down underneath the car park, and I said to our guy, or Bruce's guy actually, Josh Kay, he's a wonderful person, best stats man I've ever met, got an incredible memory.
Little drive-by
And I
on
said
Ash
to
Tour there.
Josh, look, I don't know how I'm going to describe Richmond's last 30 years, and they're going to win today. And he just as quick as a flash, he's blurted out this line that just perfectly summed it up. I can't remember exactly what the line was.
The Tigers are kings of the jungle again. It
is Tiger time, Bruce.
And so that was, you always need help. You'd be surprised how much of the information through a commentator at that level comes via the truck.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people sitting in the truck, of which about 4 or 5 people can communicate with you. From the pictures, the director will say, hey, Brian, I'm getting a picture of Gillon McLaughlin. And so he gives you that warning knowing that picture's coming. So you then have, 5 or 6 words to tell the people about Gill or what he's doing there or who he is, or could be an actor. I think we had Damien Lillard the other night on, and we knew that was coming about 5 seconds before it came.
Professional NBA player.
Dude, I'd get really reliant on the truck, and I'd just be like, just babying me. Like, what do you want me to say about Gil? Like, what do you want me to say? Just like,
I reckon I'd raw dog it without the truck my whole career. Like, I think once you go down to the truck once, it's a crutch.
Yeah.
You start getting the yips. I think you just need to be one man. Lone wolf out. I don't reckon Jason Bennett would go down to the truck. I don't think Anthony Hudson goes down to the truck.
No way.
well, some of those, surely some commentators would do, like Hutto and that, they would probably do a bit of pre-work in terms of those moments. So Hutto would have gone, right, if Tigers win, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
He knows what he's going to say.
Yeah.
But BT's more emotional in the flow, which I don't mind that, because you need
Also,
that.
it's probably you probably expect a bit of preparation.
Yeah.
from the professional commentators.
Maybe grand final.
Maybe grand final.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's his. He's like, I'm not going to change it now.
Yeah.
Triple M's probably a different story, but
I remember on the Jake Stringer thing, I remember we were halfway through the game and I pressed the button to the intercom to my producer and I said,
that button.
this guy, there's something about this guy that I really like. We've got to get this guy a nickname. And someone in the truck yelled out the name. I didn't think of the name. Someone in the truck come back 30 seconds later and I said, package, or I can't remember what the first words were. Anyway, so that was done by someone in the truck. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Wonder what the first one is like.
Yeah. I can't believe
Stringer?
he's snitching on himself like this as well.
I know.
I
Definitely claim that.
appreciate the honesty. Totally. But yeah, imagine he's like, Brian, you're on the intercom again. Like, he's just calling it for the guys in the truck.
Like,
he's always talking to him. Like,
Always. Yeah.
Like, gee, that was he's like, Brian, you're on air. You clicked the wrong. I need to ask this guy, how do they make mistakes with that button? Because that sounds like a whoa.
Yeah.
Got a magic button.
I feel like, there's two. There's like one to the truck and there's like one to the universe. Like, and they're right next to each other.
And then right next to the eject button.
Yeah. And then this one's more just for us.
Listen to that. Who's the guy, the famous guy in the US that does a brilliant job linked to the... Who is it?
Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stuff that he does is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. What have you listened to from him?
I've listened to many things. Probably the mind. He had this
sleep one?
He had this mind coach. Yeah, he's talking about that sort of stuff. And I thought he was absolutely fantastic. But some of the guests he gets from behind the scenes are absolutely incredible.
That's what I love. I love the incredible stories that he gets. Like, some of
even talking about the planet, all the stuff he's talking about the planet and that sort of thing. And
Very,
he's amazing.
Wow.
Very vague.
Very philosophical there.
You can read. We can read between the lines. We know what he's talking about. He's talking about the ancient civilizations and where the planet has been, because he had, and he knew he had to. He didn't give it away.
Every time you say planet. Every time he's like, the planet.
Many times. That's code.
Planet. We know that BT's a fan of Graham Hancock.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one about the planet.
So like, there's this one episode where he was like talking about the planet and like, just like all the things about the planet and how the planet's crazy and basically.
We need to get the guy in the truck in the van to slip him a ancient civilizations thing. Or we need to get in the.
We need to go Beckley Tepe mention.
Firstly, Moats is my guy in the van. If I ever have one.
Yeah, I'd do that for you.
I just like.
I'll be your Dirk.
Like knowing he's in there.
I hope you never use me as well.
I'll be using it all the time. In fact, I want to give you a test run at the end of this episode.
Ooh. Yeah, okay.
I won't.
Let's do it.
Just quickly, what I thought you were going to say, which I am definitely resonating with right now, is that why don't they just get the guy in the truck to commentate?
Get the guy.
Planet. Why don't we just make the plane out of the black box?
That's probably like the best point that anyone on this podcast has made.
Yeah, the guy.
They've got Anthony Hudson down the van.
Yeah, the guys down there, mate. You think the commentators? These guys are fucking on another plane.
You wait till you hear the commentator's commentator.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god!
You know what? Imagine if the guy in the truck has like a guy in a van, like where's a guy like in a building.
Whoa,
like,
whoa!
Yeah. Do it on a yacht.
I'm thinking there must be something more sinister at play here. Maybe there's a reason why they're faceless men. Maybe these are the power brokers, the puppet masters of our society, the New World Order that has been created out of the fall of the ancient civilization.
Could be the Nephilim.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but I know it sounds. I know it's important.
I was just sort of bringing it around circle like a Velodrome back to our original point. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Well, we've now got a very special guest. Brad has mentioned his connection on the inside of the inner workings of a Fox Footy broadcast. We are honoured to have one of their highest powered, highest paid cameramen, Jesse. Maybe bleep out the paid.
Yeah, using a fake name.
Fake name.
Fake name.
Jesse, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries.
It's an honour.
So first off, what is your role in the industry?
Camera operator. I think sums it up.
Yep.
How do you get into that, Jesse?
Well, I think that there's lots of different ways. Lots of people get in through being sons of camera operators, which I wasn't fortunate enough to be.
Classic showbiz nepotism.
Nepotism, Jesus.
Yeah, but yeah, I just studied media and got like a little. I started assisting, so just pulling cable and stuff, and then got, I think, a camera operator was sick one day or whatever, jumped on and wasn't too bad. So
that's a really old school story. Your big break.
Yeah, kind of was.
When you just quickly, Foxy, do you mind if I call you Foxy?
Me? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, when you did get that big break, as Moach just said, when you were behind the camera, were you really giving it to the cable boy after that? Like, hey, pull that cable.
No, because they were mostly older than me, so.
That's a bit of a flex, actually.
Yeah. Huge flex.
So
no, I came from there, so
Exactly.
Jesse, Brad's got a bit of a conspiracy theory that I think he wants to drop on you, just in regards to the fake noise of the crowd that was used during COVID.
Well, I don't know how much you know about I'm assuming you kind of know how it all kind of works and fits in. First thing was they use that fake crowd noise in COVID. I have a sneaky feeling maybe they're still using it on some games to this date when the crowd's back. Would you know anything about that?
You hesitated, Jesse.
Yeah, see, I thought I should maybe call a director and see what I'm not allowed to talk about.
he's sounding like a yes.
Imagine he's like the parrot tweets at night. He talks in code.
Maybe we'll bypass that.
Wait, so it's true.
No. As far as I'm aware, and obviously I'm a big footy fan. I watch the footy.
Yep.
I haven't noticed that, but maybe you're more keen than me.
Yep. Well, no, just if you do hear anything at ground level at any time, just give us a call.
Just relay
It's
it
obviously
back.
a very important sort of.
Yeah, because we were talking about, when you discover a useful tool in production, you don't usually just chuck it away when you well, but you've said it all, Jesse. You laughed.
We're not putting words in Jesse's mouth. He's given us a strong no that they don't do that. But
a strong no with a little laugh. Yeah. So take that what you will.
Wink twice if you're lying, Jesse.
Well, one of the main other things we want to talk about is obviously we just listened to BT saying how they give the commentators a warning of who's coming up in the crowd. Do they ever film someone they'll film someone, get the footage, and then show it later in the game? Be like, Jake Kelly's dad, he's on the shot. Like, do you know what I mean? Do they just pre-bank certain things, or is it all fairly live in that sense?
Yeah, they try to do it as much as they can live, and sometimes it doesn't work. Like they'll go to someone, and then someone in front of them will stand up, and then you just hear the director swear a bit, and then come back to the game. But yeah, it's pretty much all live. Yeah.
Have you ever been down in that van, or are you? And I guess the second point is, or are you just hooked up with what's going on in the van audioly?
I think my first ever shift was in the van on some little robo cameras, like the room cameras.
Yep.
And that was really cool. I remember it was like a pre-season game, and I filmed so it's an old Saints player that was really good that went to Geelong. Jack Stevens,
Yep.
Filmed him getting injured, and I remember it made the news, and it was on 360.
Oh.
So I was very pumped about that.
That's huge. That is
See,
huge.
don't think about that. I think
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's it, yeah. You go and see that, Mum. That's my footage.
Yeah, she's a Saints fan, so she wasn't very happy actually.
You've mentioned the director. So is this a person that I think Brad wanted to ask a similar question? Like, does this person think that they are like? Is there a bit of an ego about the director?
Yeah.
They're with other sports, and everyone's different, of course.
Yep.
But the people that I worked with, really not really. Because they rely so much on everyone else to be to make them look good too.
I was just imagining like the director just being like, it's all happening and he just gets in a whirlwind, but he doesn't mind that. And he's just like, go do it. And then it all comes together. He's like,
yeah, exactly.
That feeling of, not even so much an ego trip, just
Organised
of
chaos.
like, just the moment in general, just feeling that as the conduit. And like, he is the decider.
The all-seeing eye.
Yeah. And,
funnily enough, there was one director that I had, might have been on a women's footy or something, and he was commentating the entire time. and it started off, and I wasn't sure if it was like, I'd never had him before, so I wasn't sure if it was like a joke or it was going to stop. And he just was seriously like just commentating the entire game. Well, it was good. So he definitely fed off the energy.
That's random. Well, we were actually just sort of talking about because obviously what's up, BT goes down to the truck to get some quips or some help in commentary, and we were kind of picturing the people down there. Surely they're just like photographic memory. They're just like the smartest people in the world, all in this van, this truck, just hunched together, making these quick decisions. And like we were thinking, if they're like the commentators. These guys, what would they be like commentating?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are the guys really, the elite running the show. So yeah, that ties in with
with what he's saying. Absolutely.
my point was with that. I just kind of went with it.
So Brad made more of a statement. Here's another question for you. What does the van look like that they're all seeing? What does the truck look like?
Tell us about this truck, this mystical van. We want to know what's going on in there, man.
Lots of screens, lots of smart people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, as I said, the van, there's a bit of a maybe a little bit of a difference between the people inside the van in the nice warm weather, and then the people like myself out in the cold.
Yep. Different classes.
Different classes, yeah, for sure.
And what's,
a bit more working class.
And so you are when you've got your earphones on. Into the van. Do you hear the advice they give to the commentator, or is that not on your line?
It depends on if it's the director, we hear it, which is the thing of teeing up, like, oh, we've got a replay of this player injured or this person's dead, and we hear that before they tell they tee it up to the commentators. But if it's just someone giving a stat, we don't hear that.
And do you have like an overarching sort of direction on, like, are you just trying to follow the ball at all times, or are you just trying to spot things around the oval that you think are interesting, or is the director telling you what to do? Like, how do you know where to shoot?
It's all different depending on which camera you get.
Yep.
So some of the cameras are just straight ball follow, and then other ones you have a bit more liberty to be a bit more creative or get some,
Because I do notice the difference between a Fox Footy covered game and a Channel 7 game. Channel 7 persists with a lot more ground level angles, which I'm of the opinion for live action, there's basically been one camera angle that works really, really well, or possibly variations of the same angle, which is, that grandstand sort of viewpoint. Fox Footy don't seem to do that as much. Is that a conscious choice? Do you think Channel 7 are trying to just change things up a little bit, or have you noticed that yourself?
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a conscious choice. It's more, rather than the network, I think it would more come down to the directors.
Yep.
So yeah, if one director went over to a 7, I think they would direct the same way rather than try and do it in the 7 way.
Sounds like those egos getting in the way again.
So Jesse, you were saying about all the different, it's dependent on what camera you rock up to. Obviously, there's the crew that's filming the live action, but I'm actually interested in the crew that's collecting the slow-mo footage for the out to breaks. How is that selected, and what are those people doing during that time? Are they just purely collecting that footage, or?
Yeah, so they're the people who do all the replays. And the producer at the start of the day will have a rundown, and it might say, all right, go on. At the end of quarter time, we'll have like a slow-mo thing. And then so during that quarter, they're looking at the slow-mo camera, doing all their normal replays of, speckies and stuff, but then also they might see a little high five or something, and they'll be like, yep, that'll work. So they'll just bank that off the side.
How many slow-mo cameras would there be in any one broadcast?
Yeah, really depend. On the grand final, I'm not sure, but definitely probably more than 10. But say just for a usual game, definitely 1, sometimes 2 or 3 or 4.
Cool. Yeah. And is that an MV'd position of camera work? I would like to. If, in my opinion, the slow-mos are more fun, but obviously it's personal preference.
Is that obviously during the week they had this thing about the touch behind with the review in the arc? Obviously the angle's very blurry. If you'd fill us in on that at all?
Yeah, I think I wasn't on that game, so that's probably why they didn't get a great angle of it.
Exactly right. Yep.
Great answer.
That's the only answer we need, really.
The only other thing was with that mic system, how the commentator goes down to the van, he's obviously presses a button. How come we don't hear more stuffs-ups of like him pressing the wrong button, or is it just a real safe thing? Because I'm feeling like I'm accidentally pressing the wrong button.
At least once a week.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, I've definitely wondered that too. So, yeah, they're professionals.
They are professionals. Wow. Maybe just before we round it out, what's your best thing you've ever shot?
Yeah.
Is there like a highlight or
a night parrot?
Yeah.
Yep. Just the one that comes to mind, I think last year, might have been Mitch Duncan for Geelong, did a talk after the siren.
Yep.
Down at GMHPA. And yeah, I was just on the handheld camera that game, and I saw him lining up, and I said, oh yeah, let's go to my cable guy, and we ran up and sat up behind him, and
I think I remember.
Yeah, got the perfect angles.
Yours was the one that we used. I actually can visualize that. That was all you, brother.
That's crazy.
Well done. Congratulations.
Dude, round of applause for Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse. All right, well, Jesse, thanks so much for your time, man. Very interesting getting an insight to the man that gives us the insight. So, yeah, we'd love to get you back on if you're interested. Again, definitely to pick your brains.
Yeah, let's hope I don't get fired. Didn't reveal anything.
Don't worry, we won't share any sensitive information, especially all that stuff about ancient civilizations you were talking about earlier. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's been good.
Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesse.
Legend.
Appreciate it.
Catch ya.
Absolute legend.
Hawkins, Duncan, he's got one high, and he'll line up after the siren. Maybe he'll need a barrel brownie. This will make it 10 for the term. Oh, a big barrel. He's holding it for the barrel, I think. It's a barrel brownie. You don't see it very often in modern footy. Duncan to really line up Caninian Park. He's on to it. Has it got the legs? I reckon it has. What a quarter of football by the Cats. They're going for the review. Just call the goal and call it now.
And now it's time for Uncle Glenn's Footy Tips.
All right. We have with us on the phone Uncle Glenn. How are you? I heard you're a bit sick.
Yeah, I'm not good. I got the monkeypox.
The monkeypox. Well, you're about to get a bit better because we actually have some great news for you. We've got your tips out of the tipping safe from the Gatekeeper only an hour before.
It's a tremendous relief to me. I haven't seen who's played this week or won, but I had a very good feeling about my tips. How many have I gone?
Well, I haven't tallied them up, but you got Freo versus Hawthorn in round 13, which Big Z obviously didn't get. So you're on flying.
I'm up on Big Z.
I'm up on him.
All right, so we'll run through your tips this week. You've tipped.
I would have tipped. Yeah.
You've tipped Melbourne, Brisbane. You tipped Melbourne.
Very smart, Uncle Glenn.
Bulldogs, Hawks. Who do you reckon you tipped?
Do you know why you always tip? You always tip Melbourne over Fitzroy, because the people of Fitzroy are poor and they can't put a proper team together.
It's a great point.
Sometimes they don't even have shoes running around out.
By the same notion, you went Hawthorn over Footscray.
Oh, absolutely.
Possibly using the same theorem there, Uncle Glenn.
You've gone Eagles over Essendon. Carlton versus Freo, you went Carlton. Geelong versus Richmond.
Have they given Fremantle a team? Very forward thinking.
Geelong, you went. You tipped Geelong against Richmond. You tipped Sydney against St Kilda.
So North Melbourne, Adelaide, you went with North Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Wayne Carey Cup.
Giants versus Collingwood. You actually went Giants away game. Uncle Glenn, final rounding off the round. Port Adelaide versus Gold Coast Suns. Who do you reckon you tipped?
Is that one that they play in China?
Not this year.
Not this year.
Still doing that?
Adelaide, just in Adelaide Oval.
I was in Adelaide. I mean, two great teams with great history. And I just, who did I tip? Who was I? Oh, my tipping.
Who do you reckon he's tipped?
I think he went for Port Adelaide. A little bit more traditional.
I think
you went for Port Adelaide there.
I have tipped Port Adelaide because the Gold Coast. Yep. Have you seen the architecture? Very soulless, very glass boxes, And I'm a big believer in architecture. Yeah. Yep. But Port Adelaide, lovely Victorian style brick. That's good football.
That is good footy.
It's good football. That's why they were the margin game and you gave Port by 35. So that rounds off the.
Can I say this? Gold Coast, I noticed in their logo, I think the GC, with the gold around it,
mm-hmm.
It's moving a little further to the right and a little more of the blue shadow is being exposed every year.
Wow.
And now they have no business having the blue sneaking in. That's Crows territory. Too much blue. I want a little less blue next year, Gold Coast.
Wow. We've got that up on the big screen. You are absolutely
astutely spotted.
Correct there,
Scandal.
Uncle Glenn.
I spend a lot of time zooming in to the logos of the football clubs.
I wouldn't mind. We actually have a friend, James McCann, who does a lot of comedy about flags. He does it's a stand-up joke, and he talks about obviously the North Macedonian, I think it is, which is red and yellow colours.
Beautiful flag.
A beautiful flag. I wouldn't mind seeing the Suns adopt that kind of colour scheme in there. Just more.
I wouldn't be listening to anything that this James McCann was saying. I hear that he was out with Jordan De Goey, with the Balinese youths doing all sorts of unpleasantness. Excuse me, boys. The monkeypox really started to get me down. I'm sorry I can't be with you today.
No, that's all good.
Can I just say that one thing is that, Bradley, I'm proud of you for getting the tips. I'm really proud.
Wow,
you shouldn't have obviously fucked up in the first place, but having done that, I'm really proud.
That actually means a lot. Come from Uncle Glenn, and hope you appreciate the effort that we there was a team effort as well. We were boys in there, and we're very grateful.
You boys are all right.
Thanks, Uncle Glenn.
All right.
Be well, Uncle Glenn. Look after those monkey pops.
Enjoy the rest. Enjoy the rest. Goodbye. Enjoy the rest of the season, and we'll catch up with you every now and then.
Yes, I'm going to watch Hustle now. Adam Sandler plays a grouchy talent scout traveling the world looking for tall people.
I think that's the sort of movie you need to watch with monkeypox. Very easy to watch, Uncle Glenn. That'll send you to sleep. Enjoy.
All right, thank you, boys. Good night.
Good night.
See you, Uncle Glenn.
Always go full wingspan shepherd. Just like a bird. I will keep you safe, my son.
All right, brings us to another end of another episode.
Classic episode.
Back around where we started.
Yep.
It's like a velodrome.
Thanks you all for listening. Appreciate it. Please consider subscribing or
just think about it.
Doing something like that.
Or just do it.
Do something! Do something!
We're out of coffee.
Was that did you make that or was that? did you find
I
it?
think it was like something Star Trek or something like that.
Nice. Had a bit of Spock in there.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Oh no, ran out of coffee.
Welcome to Coffee Talk.
But yeah, just for it, we'll do this week we usually do a tweet to round out, but this week I want to do a live tweet. I want to actually come up with one now on the spot, and I want it to be. I want to go to my man in the truck as if he's in the truck, and I say, Moats, I need something on the Velodrome. I need a little.
We need twoosh.
I need a little quip. So if you're reading my tweet or you have read it,
What sort of style do you want? Do you want like funny? Do you want like a Tumblr post? Do you want
Tumblr be hot.
like teenage apathy? Because like I could go with like a stranger is just a friend you don't hate yet.
That is like really good.
wanted to or related to the Velodrome.
Right, to relate to the Velodrome.
Yeah, so Velodrome based.
I've been training really hard at the Velodrome recently, but I just feel like I'm going around in circles. That's just like a classic joke. I've been training really hard at the Velodrome recently, but I just feel like I'm going around in circles.
Amazing.
Should we just go with that? Just pretend I came up with it straight away?
Yeah.
I just want to tinge more.
Yeah, it needs a bit more guts, though, doesn't it?
Something random.
You got
or
anything
special.
funnier than that?
That's a good base. That's your base, but we need a little bit of.
Yeah, that's like nap and cheese.
That's like.
But there's no protein. There's no pepperoni.
We need a little bit of cheese on there. Oh no, we need.
Already was.
Oh, wait.
Already was some cheese.
You stuck with cheese, man. So what was yours? So what was yours? What was yours? You've been training.
Been training really hard at the Velodrome recently, but I just feel like I'm going around in circles. I mean, I think that's pretty good.
I just want to keep you here longer.
Maybe we should just like all contribute like a word or two, and Brad
Go
just
round?
literally has to
Goes round?
Brad has to put what we. It's just like Velodrome.
Like life
Someone
is
says
like a velodrome.
I don't know.
You never know what you're gonna get. Probably a bike.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna leave in 2 minutes. You can take my fucking perfect Velodrome joke, which is a perfect joke, or you can come up with your own fucking
It
joke.
didn't have enough guts, though. It needed more. It needed more guts.
Jesus,
though.
was
Say probably a bike.
Yeah, probably a bike.
See, yours is better as a joke, but
Yeah.
I want that level of randomness.
Yeah,
That's where it's
I
at.
didn't even hear yours, but I know it wasn't just mine.
Life is like a Velodrome. You never know what you're going to get. Probably a bike.
Mo's like, either way I win, I can go home.
That was actually legitimately so good.
I love that. So going, life is like a Velodrome, comma. You never know what you're going to get. Full stop. Probably a bike. Full stop.
Yes.
Perfect.
Very good.
Post it. Post it.
Done.
Wait, the twoosh is out there in the stratosphere.
I didn't do capital V on Velodrome, but sue me.
Whatever, dude.
Did you say Velodrome or Velodrome? Because it's Velodrome.
Velodrome.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Because I've been pronouncing it Velodrome
Yes.
just because I think it sounds funnier,
Does sound funny.
but it's actually
Yeah.
not spelled that way.
Palindrome.
All right, everybody. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your footy. Like that tweet. We're out of here. Cheers.